Hello humans, my name is Chris Rogers and thanks for tuning in to Film Grain and Coffee Beans. This is going to be a solo podcast this week. Next week I'm planning on having someone on, but I haven't asked anybody yet, so no promises. This week I want to talk about a few different things, filmmaking in general, and starting out with a film that I just saw. It was actually a screening of a new documentary that a guy that I know made. His name is Harris III, and he's a pretty renowned magician. And the name of the film is called Counterfeit. So he set out to tell stories about deception, about other people who have been deceived and how it's affected those people. And he also set out to talk to experts on those specific kinds of deception. But then he got about 2 years into this creation of this film, and he realized that, he was being deceived, and the whole world was being deceived through marketing and through the gaining of money, through greed and power and sex, and just all of these things that deceive us in our everyday lives. So he then took another 2 years to round out that story by telling his own. And it really is really good and very thought-provoking, because he takes his own story and he connects it to all of the different kinds of deception that the film talks about. So it's very personable and very thought-provoking. So keep an eye on that. I think that it's definitely Netflix worthy, but I'm not sure that's the direction he wants to go with it. So if you follow me on any social media, Instagram or YouTube, or on wherever you're listening to this, I will definitely keep you guys updated. My Instagram, by the way, is filmgrain.coffeebeans if you want to go follow me there. So keep an eye out for that, because that's going to be a huge thing to watch. Speaking of filmmaking, though, I'm personally doing a challenge right now with myself to only use one focal length. So whether I'm on a crop body or a full frame, whether I'm shooting film or doing photos, I only want to use a 35 millimeter lens for really as long as I can until it becomes a hindrance. But I recently kind of got into a habit of using like 4 different lenses, and I'm thinking too much about which lens I need to be using, so I want to cut down and use one lens for a little while and see how that changes how I shoot things. Even if I do a video where, I'm the subject, like a vlog type video, I want to use a 35 mil, so that means I'm going to have to put it on a tripod and sit down and talk. And I think it's also going to make me slow down and really think about how I can get a better shot with this lens. And I think that's going to help me tremendously, because then I'll know, okay, this is what a 35 mil looks like, but it would look better if I had an 85 or a 200 right now, because, that's what I need to get this shot, because for a while I've been getting that shot with a 35. So it's just kind of setting a roadblock in my creative process to make me think more creatively. And I definitely challenge you guys to do the same with whatever kind of, creative things you do, whether you consider them creative or not. There's usually something creative involved in everything, and there is definitely ways that you can do this where it will cause you to think up new ways to do the same thing. So if you're a photographer, you can do the same thing. If you're, say, a graphic designer, I would challenge you maybe to just get a sketch pad, and from beginning to end, from the idea of your design all the way to the polished, finished design, do it on paper, and then open up Photoshop and just make it. As I'm not a graphic design person, but I think that would be kind of a cool challenge. I cannot draw at all, though, so not for me. But if you're a writer, maybe limit yourself to one page, or open up yourself to 100 pages or 1,000 pages or something like that. Do whatever is not the norm, and it'll cause you to think outside the box, even though I kind of hate that phrase, and do things a new way. So our artwork is also new. I actually have some official artwork this week. At the beginning, I played the creation of that artwork, and I meant to mention it, but I forgot. That was made by a man named John Manning. He's a really good friend of mine, and you should definitely go check out his artwork on Instagram. He also has a YouTube channel, and I think he's going to start getting into that just a little bit more, but definitely go check out his Instagram. It's cloud inspired, and he does art from clouds. So he'll go take a picture of clouds, or he'll have somebody send him some really cool looking clouds, and he'll literally make a drawing, painting, some kind of art out of that. Some little scene with like maybe a dragon or a person or something. Whatever he sees in that cloud, he'll draw it, and it's really, really cool. And he also does a lot of other really awesome things. But he did the art for this podcast and YouTube channel, and huge thanks to him. I'm definitely going to have him on the podcast. I think that's all for this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. If whatever you're watching this or listening to this on, give it a like, give it a rating, leave a comment. I definitely want you guys' feedback on how I can do this better and to definitely improve every single week that I do this. So give me some feedback, because this is the first time I'm doing this, and I want to know what you guys want to hear, what you guys think of how I could maybe do things better, or, that I suck at this and need to stop. Whatever. Just leave a comment, give me a rating, and thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next week.